a monohybrid cross, we're talking about one gene, so mono means one, and we're going to be looking at the genotype, which is what genes we have, and we're going to look at the phenotype, which is what physical traits we see. Okay, so what they physically look like. So they're going to give you a problem, and it's going to tell you what the critters look like, and we're going to figure out, and they're going to use the vocab, and we're going to figure out what that means. So like this one says, black coat is dominant over white coat. So we're going to pick a letter to represent the dominant and the recessive. So the dominant is our capital letter, and our lowercase is the recessive. So let's say B, a capital B for black coat. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's a little bigger there. Okay. So a capital B means it's going to have black fur, and a little b means it's the gene for white fur. So we're going to look at a homozygous black guinea pig, and we're going to look at another homozygous black guinea pig. So what does homo mean? What is the root telling us? We're looking for same or different? Same, yes. All right, so this means it's the same. And the black gene we're showing with, or the black allele, I'm sorry, is the capital B. So if it's the same thing, that means we're going to have two big B's for our first guinea pig. And then our second guinea pig is same, and it's black. So we're going to have another big B, big B. So both parents are homozygous for the dominant allele. So now we have to see, what would this do in a Punnett square? So yesterday and in that video, we're going to put one parent on the top here, and you put their first allele here, and then their second allele here. So like I'm putting the first parent, and I'm putting their big B and their other big B because they're homozygous for black. Then our other parent has a big B and another big B. So now I'm set up to do my monohybrid cross. You're crossing it because this guy is going to go here and to there. And this guy goes here and here. This one goes down here and there and here and here. So I'm just showing you the arrows to know where they're going. And I'm going to erase those lines so it doesn't confuse you when I'm filling in the boxes. But that was the how I'm dragging them across part. Let me erase. And we'll write what our answer should look like. So we're going to have a big B from this parent and a big B from this parent. This big B goes here. This one from up top goes here. This one comes over. This one comes down, over, and down. So I filled in all of my Punnett square. So what are the genotypes? What are the combinations of alleles that the kids have? Like, what are the kids' genotypes? What alleles did they get? What letters are we saying? They got big B, big B. So then what would they look like if they have two copies of that big B allele? What color would they be? They'd be black. So we're going to have the physical trait of black and the genotype of big B, big B. So one of the things that we do in our genetic stuff is we're going to make a best guess of how likely is it that we would see something. So that's saying what is the probability, means what's the chance that we would get an offspring of a certain kind. So this part says, what is the chance of having a white guinea pig being born from those two parents? What would we say? Is that an option for their babies? No. So we would say it is a 0% chance. All right, so now we've got the hang of how to tell what the genotype is and fill in a Punnett square. Let's change those genes for the next parent. So this time we are looking at, I'm going to change colors, a heterozygous guinea pig. What does hetero mean? Same or different? Different. Yeah, it's different. So heterozygous means it's going to have one of the big allele and one of the little allele. So that parent would be big B, little b. Because he has a big B, it's still going to be a black guinea pig, okay? Because black is dominant over white. So now we're going to look at the second parent. This one is a homozygous black guinea pig. So what would our homozygous black guinea pig have for its genes? Which letter was black, the big B or the little b? The big B. And homo means same. So I'm going to have big B and another big B. Okay, so now we can take these parents and we're going to put them on the top and on the side of our Punnett square. So let's put the first parent on the top, do big B, little b. And then the other parent had a big B, big B. I'm going to put them on the side. And we're going to figure out what their kids can have. So remember, oh yeah. Yeah, if you want to scoot forward one more, your charger will fit on that outlet there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag these over and down. So the big B here comes from that parent. This big B can come down here. This big B I'm going to write right here. The little b is going to come from the top. We always put the capital first. Like if you have heterozygous, make sure that capital is the first one because that's the dominant. That's what you're going to see. Down here I have big B, big B. And over here, the big B from this parent and the little b from that parent. So now I have more than one genotype. So what are my two genotypes that we have for these guinea pig babies? What could they get? Okay, and they got, like these two have two big B's. So we have the homozygous dominant as one genotype we can get. But these two babies have a different genotype. What do we call that when they have a big B, little b? Yes, they are heterozygous. So we have both of those genotypes in these babies, but we have to figure out what do they look like? What color would big B make? Black. What color would the big B, little b be? In this case, they're just black. So sometimes we're going to learn next week that there is like the mix between the two. This week, though, we're just talking about dominance. So it only takes one copy of the dominant gene to be that color when it is a complete dominance. Really good. All right, so let's look at this last question on the first page. It says a black guinea pig is mated with a white guinea pig. Their babies, they have half are black and half are white. So we have to figure out what genes would the parents have in order to make black and white babies. So let's look at the white guinea pig. What was our letter for white? Which one do we use, the big or the little? The little, right? So the babies need to get a white allele from both parents, okay? Because we need to have 2 copies of the little b to actually be a white guinea pig. So that means this guinea pig would have the genes little b, little b. So if I want to like show my work a little bit, I have to see what would I need to have babies that are white if I'm mixing a black and a white guinea pig. So let's put the white guinea pig's genes up top. This is their alleles. And we know that the black guinea pig has to have at least one big B, but we don't know if they are homozygous or heterozygous. So if I have a big B for their first allele, and I have, let's see, can I see that over? No, okay. I would end up with babies that are big B, little b's. What color are the big B, little b babies? They're black, right? So if I'm gonna get half of them to be white, this black guinea pig needs to be heterozygous, because now the other half of these babies would be little b, which means they would be white. So the genotypes, so which alleles the parents have, is the black guinea pig is big B, little b, and the white guinea pig is little b, little b. Pretty cool? So what we're going to do today is we are going to look, whoops, I skipped a page. There we go. At some different animals. Oops, I did not want to go forward. Sorry. Lots of flashing. We're going to do pigs. We're going to look at cows. And we're going to look at peas. And they all are going to follow the same thing. So they tell you which one is dominant and which one is recessive. And we're going to fill in what those parents are, find out what their babies can be, and then we're going to write what the baby's genotypes are, and then what would they look like in the phenotype box. So there's more peas. And then we're going to look at people in 7 and 8, and it's going to talk about the albino genes. The last 2 questions, we're going to talk about dogs, so Cocker Spaniels and deafness. And then we're going to talk about the human trait of having dimples. Okay? So all of these are doing the same thing that we just did with our guinea pigs, and it's a practice. So in our Canvas class, once you have turned this in, you'll be able to click next and check your answers. If you get answers wrong, I want you to go through and try and figure out why